pictures. No. They are so much more than that. They're ways to tell really gripping and memorable stories. Some about characters who are faced with a trial, and some that have really great messages for the world to take from. And you got some really great movie production artists, too. And while they make some pretty great movies, there's just one that always gets it right. And that artist is God. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm crazy. God doesn't make movies. And yeah, you're right. He doesn't make movies. He makes something a little bit more cinematic. He makes us. I mean, when you think about it, our lives are kind of like movies. God gives us a plan for our lives, and He watches us grow and develop like the characters in films. Now, there are a lot of conclusions you can draw from this idea, but I like to use it when thinking about something that our life and movies always face. Plot twists. You know, where something the characters don't expect happens to them, and it becomes one big struggle to overcome that problem. This happens to us so many times because, like the endings in movies, we think we've got it figured out. We think we know where it's going. But when God throws a plot twist at us, we fall apart. We sink like the Titanic. We don't know what's going on. I can't tell you guys how many times that God throws a plot twist at me, and I fall apart. I think that there is no plan for me anymore. Now, see guys, this is where the verse Isaiah 55:8 comes into play, which says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, so neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." Now guys, when we face those plot twists, those dark times, these are the moments when God yells, "Cut," which is the title of the sermon, by the way. Now, what does it mean for God to yell cut? Well, basically, it means that in the heat of the moment, when we face those trials, those plot twists, God stops us and says, "Okay, stop your scene. All right, we're going to go back over it. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to help you through it, and we're going to make it better." Imagine God saying that to you during your plot twists, your dark times, because it's what He does. He takes what He made our plots to be, and in their darkest moments, makes them do a complete 180. And now that's a really cool idea, but the question is, do you hear God yelling cut a lot in your life? And if you do, do you actually listen to Him? Because there are so many times where we think that we can improvise, we can make it better. But the truth is that we can't. We can't make it better. And an example of this is in the book of John, where one of Jesus' close friends named Lazarus had passed away. And his sisters, Mary and Martha, they were just heartbroken because they thought that Lazarus' plan, his screenplay, was nothing like what actually went down. They faced a plot twist. And so Jesus went to them and they looked at Him and said, "Jesus, if only you had been here, because if you had been, Lazarus would still be with us." And now keep in mind, Lazarus is already in the tomb at this point. And yet Jesus looked at them and said, "Your brother will rise again. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, even if they die, will live." And that's really cool. And it shows us that through faith, anything is possible. We think that God can't do things, but He can. And that through faith, our lives have no ends, no boundaries. In a word, limitless. So, guys, I want you to stop here. Stop your worrying. Stop your improvising, because it gets us nowhere that is of God. But instead, trust in your director. Trust in God, because God can take our messes and He can turn them into our messages. He can take our trials and turn them into our triumphs. Glory be to God. Guys, I want you all to help me, because I want to take Satan, the villain of our movies, who wants us to be confused, who wants us to think that there is no plan for us. We're going to make him terrified that we are not following him. We're following the one and only God who makes us more than conquerors, who makes us limitless. And through God and through faith, we can make Academy Award-winning films. The only difference is that when we get to heaven and we look back over our movies with God, what we get from God will put the Academy Awards to shame.
Yes.
Amen?
Yes.
One more time. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. God bless you all.